Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's NMeade here as always. Another month has come to a close, and that means there's more world records to review. Today, we are reviewing the world record activity for December 2019, wrapping up the 2019 world record progression for Mario Kart Wii. Before we begin, I'd like to direct you all to another video I made on the first day of 2020, giving analysis, my reaction, and predictions to all the current world records going into January 1st of 2020 at the start of this decade. This is a nice way to be up to speed with where things are at this point heading into this year, and you can definitely learn some things about different tracks from the feedback I provided. I know it's 2.5 hours long, but it is a good watch, I promise. Additionally, we talk a lot about world records and all things time trial on my Twitch stream several times per week if you'd like to see things live. For now, let's head into the summary of December 2020 with 12 world records across 4 unique tracks. This month was huge, let's get started. Starting off this month, we had a massive cut on Koopa Cape. Justin improves upon his previous world record by 265 milliseconds and achieving the long-awaited first sub 218 on Koopa Cape on December 2nd. I'm going to have the Ghost comparison versus his previous world record on the screen as I discuss further. And this is definitely worth paying attention to, as I feel the Ghost comparison shows areas of the track that are prone to unintentional time loss due to terrain of the track mostly, and notably going to be the strategy around the second wooden ramp, the zipper into the water section and the shrimpless cut, maneuvering inside the pipe, and the ending pipe strat and mushroom into the second and third laps. Racing solo, you may not always notice if these things are losing all that much time, but we are watching this together. Justin's previous world record of 218.255 is almost level with the 217.990 entering lap 3. And you can see the Ghost partially even up until the midpoint of the lap being basically level. Explaining this, I believe this track still has a ways to go. The current best known splits as of today's upload date total a time of 217.433. And with further activity, I think this could be lowered some more, especially with several players trying this track recently. Overall, Justin clutches this run to get the first 217 on Koopa Cape, which is a major accomplishment. For a bit of fun trivia, the first sub 220 was 219.984 by Japanese player Johnny on November 27, 2013, and the first sub 219 was by Fox, who cut the world record by almost 0.5 in one massive jump to 218.939 on September 14th, 2016. Pretty interesting to me that basically 3 years separate these last 3 sub-second milestones, which is pretty cool. Great job on the sub, Justin, and good luck if you try further here. Next, we head over to Wario's Gold Mine Glitch. Huge developments here, ladies and gentlemen. Japanese player McRaren reclaims the world record here after not having held it in over 9 years. He beats the previous world record by Justin by 29 milliseconds with a time of 32.322 on December 8th. This is such an epic feat for McRaren. For those not aware of the world record history in years past, McRaren was the primary contender with Mr. Bean on Wario's Gold Mine Glitch from the fall of 2009 to the end of the summer of 2010. To my knowledge, McRaren eventually stopped playing for many years since that point and recently came back to the game in 2019. I mentioned it in the reaction video I discussed at the beginning of this video, but it is awesome to see such an old school player coming back after so long, relearning the track once more, and eventually succeed at reclaiming the world record on their track. I am not too sure if McRaren has intentions on improving from here, but I can only assume that he is elated to reclaim the world record here. As you've been watching on the screen, areas for improvement on this track are quite minimal. I think the biggest variable is the bounce that you get from the pipe, as other variables seem to be already maxed out from my perspective. They are already turning and streaming partially blind to reach underneath the bridge, and they are taking advantage of hopping off of the fence here to land perfectly in the cave to activate the last key checkpoint so the lap actually counts when they cross the finish line. The current best known splits currently give a time of 31.908 as of today's upload. So this record is already very close to the limit currently. Overall, major congratulations to you, McRaren, on your achievement of reclaiming the world record on Wario's Gold Mine glitch. Moving on to DS Desert Hills shortcut category, we have an improvement by David improving upon the world record by 220 milliseconds with a time of 1:31.539 on December 9th. Starting off, this is David's first time getting the world record here and the third unique track he's had a record on. So congratulations first off on getting the world record here for your first time. This track still has very much in the way of potential as far as improvements, but this is mostly determined by either getting a quote-unquote lucky shortcut or non-lucky shortcut, and the best known splits for both vary greatly by a large extent. The current best known splits for the quote-unquote lucky shortcut is a 129.584 and 131.034 without them. That's about a second and a half there. I believe what this means is when they land so close to being on the main road again that they lose minimal time re-accelerating and can charge the recovery mini turbo quicker. David himself, interestingly enough earlier this month, found a shroomless entry to the shortcut off of the tree, and the Task Gang has used his ghost to improve upon it, as it has been deemed so incredibly precise that they were unable to replicate it with TAS currently. This video is linked below on EJ's channel, and I'd highly recommend reading the description to see a further explanation behind the mechanics for it. I definitely think a 130 will happen here, but it will require quite a lot of precision with these shortcuts, most of all, and more optimal driving afterwards. All in all, great job David, and good luck on further improvements if you choose to play further. And lastly, we now come to this. We had major developments on Toad's Factory for the month of December 2019. June of 2019, we saw fellow time trialer and TASer Blaze upload a video with a major skip that can be performed on Toad's Factory by clipping a moving crate, flying through the air and flying through the factory wall, landing back in the moving conveyor belt hairpin section, saving roughly 3 seconds per lap. This was initially done with the spear. Blaze's video is linked in the description below, and I'd recommend reading the description of that video too, especially for this section here. Fast forward nearly half a year later, at the end of December 2019. December 18th, 2019, the Task Gang unveils a huge improvement by several seconds to the task run by doing this crate clip, now with the Flame Runner. That video is also in the description below, and I'd highly recommend you watching it, and you definitely will not regret it. This eventually led to a total of 9 world records set performing this humanly over the span of 11 days. Before highlighting the activity, I'd like to shout out Braixen, as I was informed by Logan that Braixen was the first human to successfully pull this off, but unfortunately fell short of breaking the world record by only 5 milliseconds with a time of 1:49.331 on the leaderboards. Logan becomes the first person to improve the world record with the crate clip on December 20th, with a time of 1:48.658, bringing the world record to the first sub 149 and beating Luke's previous world record by 668 milliseconds. Logan lands in the opposing red conveyor belt and uses his mushroom to gain some acceleration to return to the green, forward-moving conveyor belt, and keeps it together to set this record. On the same day, Justin comes into the mix with 2 improvements, 1:48.392 and an even bigger jump to 1:47.875, becoming the first person to sub 1:48. The main reason why the time save came so quickly is that Justin was able to land a bit more favorably after landing back in the factory, and was able to save one more mushroom to use at another point in the track. The very next day, December 21st, Luke himself tries his hands with a crate clip and successfully improves the world record by over 200 milliseconds, and with a time of 1:47.664. And this was cool to see the previous world record holder trying out the new shortcut strategy and succeeding in reclaiming the world record here. On the same day again, Logan reclaimed the world record with a time of 1:47.594. This record is important as this is the first record showing that you can land favorably in only the green conveyor belt without being halted by the red conveyor belt. From what I can tell here, you're getting more airtime facing to the right off the crate, and you're landing at base speed, making the recovery drift easier so that you aren't hitting the red opposing conveyor belt. Logan unfortunately lost most of the almost 600 milliseconds he saves on lap 1 over Luke on laps 2 and 3 by unfortunately not knowing where the crates are going to be on laps 2 and 3, given that he was going much faster now. But even with that, he still clutches out the improvement here. And with this new intel, Logan improved the record much further by over 200 milliseconds 2 days later, with a time of 1:47.359, with much better execution on the crate sections laps 2 and 3 to gain much time he lost in his previous record. On Christmas Day, it was the Christmas miracle of sorts, as Braixen was able to clutch out the world record by almost 200 milliseconds with a time of 1:47.162. I'm happy to see that Braixen was able to get the record after falling short of breaking it when he was the first person to pull this off in a completed run, as mentioned previously. In the records here this month, Braixen's lap 1 is the fastest, clocking in at a 33.256, and was able to have a solid driving the rest of the way to have the time cut. And then a day later, Logan reclaims the world record again by almost 100 milliseconds with a time of 1:47.067. Logan practically ties Braixen's lap 1 by barely 1 millisecond and manages to save more time over Braixen on laps 2 and 3. Lastly this month, on New Year's Eve, Logan narrowly misses the first sub 1:47 here with a time of 1:47.001. This run overall was clean with a few notable errors, but most heartbreakingly being the bad landing right in front of the line on lap 3, which cost him the sub 1:47. A little mini spoiler for next month, but Logan managed another improvement on New Year's Eve for his time zone in the USA, but the records are clocked in at GMT, so it counts for the first world record of 2020. Man, that was a mouthful to go through, but major props and congratulations to all players who pulled off records this month on Toad's Factory. It goes without saying, but this is extremely difficult to pull off, as this is a moving target you're trying to get such a precise clip off of, this being the only track in the game currently with a cycle-based moving object clip like this. Unfortunately, it seems like humans are limited to a 2 for 3 due to the cycles of the crates. The players use their mushroom on lap 1 specifically before the crate section to be able to make the crate on lap 1. And we tested this on stream earlier this week and found that each crate cycle takes about maybe 2.5 seconds or maybe a little bit more, so practically all the time save you'd have with the crate clip is negated by having to wait so long. However, this is still epic that this can be done humanly. Major shoutouts to the task community for pushing the game's limits and helping the RTA runners find viable strategies to be performed in real time. And with all that said, this concludes reviewing all of the world records for December 2019. And further, all of the world record progression of 2019 has been covered on this channel this year. The year of 2019 for Mario Kart Wii becomes the most successful and active year since 2012, with a total world record tally of 149. Meaning we averaged 12.4 world records per month. We had 32 unique players set world records this year, 9 of which are new players getting their first world records, and as of today, 412 unique players have achieved world records in Mario Kart Wii. The cumulative time of world records at the end of 2019 is 46 minutes, 40 seconds, 841 milliseconds, cutting off 45 seconds, 876 milliseconds from 2018's total. In 2019, we saw many optimizations of numerous tracks with their current strategies, all the way to exciting new shortcut and glitch developments on N64 Sherbet Land, Toad's Factory, Mushroom Gorge, and Mario Circuit. The longest lasting world record currently is Braixen's N64 DK's Jungle Parkway glitch run of 45280, sitting at 1086 days. And this is one of the 3 remaining world records from 2017, with Havoc's 216684 on GBA Bowser Castle 3 No Shortcut, and Braixen's 1 minute 395 on GCN Peach Beach also being set in 2017. What an epic year this has been, guys. I thank you all so very much for all of your enthusiasm, support, constructive feedback, and excitement for this series, as well as others that I do on the channel. With that said, if you would like to see more of this on the way, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not done so already. Very soon, I will be uploading a video with major developments for GCN Waluigi Stadium, with 2 potential strategies that can lead to humans being able to successfully glitch GCN Waluigi Stadium without the need for rapid fire hopping. Once more, I do all things time travel and much more on my Twitch stream several times per week, so check that out if you want to see things live. Thank you all once more. Here's to an epic 2019 for Mario Kart Wii. I'll be seeing all of you guys, my fellas, in the next video reviewing the first month of world records for the year of 2020. Take care.